the culprit of my lack of sleep.
Hi, Hank.
Are you excited to see me?
So you're thinking about getting a dog. Maybe you're looking for companionship, an added sense of safety and security, protection around the house, a reason to build a better routine, get outside more, exercise, or are looking for a reduction in stress and anxiety, which, fun fact, studies have shown spending time with dogs can do. Whatever the reason, dogs are incredible. And I truly love my dog Hank, and he has brought so much joy to my life. But the truth is, dogs are a huge commitment, both from a time commitment standpoint and also financially. And I think those things aren't always talked about. And I know I, for one, was completely shocked by just how much work dogs actually are. And that's coming from someone who also has spent over $13,000 in less than 2 years on a dog. So in today's video, I want to go through everything you need to think about when it comes to dog ownership, talk about the pros, the cons, and how to figure out if getting a dog is the right decision for you and your family. Let's get into it. Puppy days were the worst. I, for one, really questioned our decision to get a dog during some of those days. There were many sleepless nights trying to get him to go to sleep, to stop running around, to stop having accidents. The accidents in our house were crazy. I felt like we were always cleaning up. Razor sharp teeth would be biting you. He would lose a bunch of teeth, so sometimes he would bite and lose a tooth. It just was crazy, and it was really hard to deal with all of the puppy energy. And the chewing was awful. We have a ton of damage to our house because of how much he would chew on things. And he would also eat a lot of things, which led to a surgery very early on when he was a puppy, when he ate a sock of mine. So the puppy days were brutal, and it's something that no one really talks about when you're outside and it's 20 degrees and it's been 30 minutes and your dog has not gone to the bathroom. It is much tougher than I think people really like to admit or talk about. My advice early on is to invest in training. We did multiple classes with a dog trainer to help him learn certain commands like sit and stay, and even just how to get the leash around him, how we can control him. It's all these things that you probably don't necessarily think about when you're getting a dog. They don't just know these commands, they have to learn them, and that takes time. There are a lot of benefits to having a dog, but I really want to focus on 4 main ones, which are companionship, mental health, activity, and then just social interaction. So starting with companionship, my husband and I both work pretty demanding jobs. We both do some sense of travel throughout the year. My husband travels more than I do, and there are longer periods of time where I'm alone, and that is the number one reason we decided to get a dog. It is really nice to have Hank when he's not around. I don't feel nearly as lonely. It gives me a lot of companionship, and especially because our dog is a Velcro dog, so he likes to stick around. Next is the mental health improvement. I will get sad sometimes. I will feel down sometimes. I feel stressed, and spending time with Hank does improve that. I love to cuddle up with him on the couch. Petting him, being with him, going out with him makes me feel genuinely so much better. For activity, dogs need activity. They need to be walked. They need to get outside of the house. So it is a great reason to get you out of the house. So I go on walks all the time now, which are also great for me. It's great to be outdoors, great to feel the sunshine, and having a dog really gives you a reason to do that. So I do think when it comes to kind of building that routine and getting outside more, dogs are amazing to help you build that because you kind of have to. And number 4, social interaction. It is easier to meet people when you have a dog. We moved into our neighborhood a year before we got our dog, and we really did not talk to a lot of our neighbors. We are much younger than a lot of the people in our neighborhood, so it felt kind of hard to make those connections. But once we got a dog, it was way easier. People love dogs, so they'll come up and talk to us. We'll talk to them. People across the street from us also got a dog, and now we talk to them all the time. We'll go over when the dogs are out, and it really has been great and helped build our sense of community. So let's talk about some of the cons of dog ownership. Dogs are a huge responsibility and they do take a lot of time. Sure, when they're older and they're housebroken and they have the routines, I'm sure it gets much easier, but especially in the earlier days, it's a lot of time spent taking them outside, trying to get them to go to the bathroom, getting them to eat, getting them fed. When they're younger and their bladders are smaller, or if you just have a smaller dog, you have to take them out way more frequently. When you're working, if you don't have a work from home job, you need to figure out how to get home and let them out throughout the day, or get someone else to come let them out. It's really a huge change with your lifestyle. You can't just leave them for days at a time and go do something. You're taking them with you, or you're having to change your plans, or you're having to find someone to take care of them over their night. It's a living creature that you need to spend time thinking about and time taking care of. Next is the lifestyle changes. Having a dog will absolutely change your lifestyle. You can't really just drop everything and go on a trip or do something like that. You have to consider your dog in the equation. For me, as a personal example, going to my grandma's house, she is a frail, older lady. Love you, Grandma. But my dog is 110 pounds right now. He's huge. He does still jump up some. And even if he's not jumping up, if he runs by your legs, it can kind of knock you off balance. So it's a huge danger. And we can't take him when we go to her house, which means I can't sleep over there, or we have to board him. There's just a lot of changes when it comes to your lifestyle because you have to be putting your dog first. Next is shedding and messes. Dogs are very messy and they can cause a lot of damage. This is something I would definitely recommend when you're in the research phase of trying to figure out what dog is right for you that you should consider. We have a big dog, which means bigger messes if he is not feeling good. So that is definitely something you should consider. I feel like I'm always cleaning the floors and the carpets, and he's older now. He just turned 2, so we don't have nearly as many accidents anymore. But we got very fortunate to get a dog with IBS, so he does still have some problems here and there. And then when it comes to shedding, our dog is a huge shedder and he has black fur. All of our furniture is off-white or cream. We got it before we thought we were gonna get a dog. It was not something we really thought out well. But it's a constant mess that we're picking up as well. That is just another thing you need to consider. And then the final con I would say is the financial piece. Dogs are really, really expensive. There's a lot of cost that goes into caring for your dog. The food, if you're doing daycare, if you're doing boarding, vet visits, all of this goes into the cost of having a dog. Speaking of the cost of getting a dog, let's go into what some of the costs we have spent are. First, let's start with kind of the one-time cost. So if you're getting a dog, you're gonna have probably an adoption or a pet fee. If you're getting a dog from like a breeder or something, we spent $2,000 on Hank. He is a Bernese Mountain Dog, which was a breed we specifically wanted. When it comes to vet visits, we've spent over $3,500 on vet visits. You do have to get like vaccinations and certain things initially when you get your dog. Our bill is a little bit higher because we also had an emergency surgery within our first month of getting our dog, and it would have actually been a lot more expensive if it wasn't for our pet insurance. He ate a sock and that was thousands of dollars. For one-time pet supplies, we got a built-in fence that we could put in our house, which I would highly, highly recommend, that kept him off the carpet for a while when he was really young and just having a lot of accidents. And then things like a leash, a harness, bowls. I would say like $300 to $500 is probably realistic to expect to spend. Let's talk about ongoing expenses. Food is a huge ongoing expense, and the bigger the dog, the more food you're gonna have to buy. For us, we go through a 47-pound bag of dog food about every 5 weeks, and each of those bags is a little over $90, which means we're spending about $1,000 per year on his food. For vet visits, he'll have to get checkups and stuff like that on an ongoing basis, so I would say a few $100s every year year for that, assuming there's no additional issues, which of course will pop up. For pet insurance, we actually canceled our pet insurance. The reason being, it only covered one surgery if there was a foreign object consumed, which happened to us within the first month. So we decided to cancel the pet insurance after that, which saved us a few $1,000s on that first surgery, and now just save money in case things pop up that we need to pay for out of pocket. For toys and enrichment, we're probably spending $100 to $200 a year on new toys. Hank rips up toys. It's getting better now that he's not a puppy and has grown a little bit and his puppy teeth are gone, which was super sharp. But there was a time where he would rip through like 3 to 4 toys a week, and it was a lot. For training classes, we spent $150 on a few training classes early on. And then for boarding, he actually goes to a doggy daycare 3 times a week. It's $20 per day. And then the overnight sessions are $50 if we need to go out of town or something. And within a year, to give you an idea, we spend about $3,500 so that he can be around other dogs, have that stimulation while my husband and I are both at work. Something to think about, but an expense that my husband and I at least are spending at this time. So all in all, between the initial cost and the ongoing cost that we've had so far, in less than 2 years, we've already spent over $13,000 on Hank. Certainly not cheap. So how do you know if getting a dog is right for you? I think if you're considering getting a dog, you need to do a serious self-assessment when it comes to your lifestyle, your finances, and your living situation. When it comes to your lifestyle, if you're someone that really loves to drop everything on a whim and go to another town to visit or go on vacation, or you like to go out on the weekends and spend the night wherever and you don't come back for a day or two, you probably are not in a position to support and care for a dog. And that's okay. And financially, it's another piece. If your dog had an emergency surgery for $3,000 that they needed, would you be able to afford that? If not, it's probably not fair to be taking on that dog. And then finally, your living situation. While I don't think you need to have a huge house or a big yard or anything like that to get a dog, really be honest with yourself about the situation that you're in, the house that you're in, the apartment you're in, and how that might fit with the breed of dogs. Maybe if you're living in a smaller apartment in the city and you don't have access to a yard or anything, you're not getting a husky because they're a breed that needs a lot of energy, needs to be run around and all of these things. At the end of the day, I think if you're looking at getting a dog, there's so many different dog breeds out there that you can really make a decision and find a breed that's right for you. Even if you're not someone who wants to go on a bunch of runs or do all these things and you want to stay at home and cuddle up with a puppy that just wants to do the same, there's dog breeds that like to be more at home and are less needing of that interaction. Talk to people that are around dogs often to figure out what breed is right for you based on your lifestyle. At the end of the day, the only person that can figure out if dog ownership is right for you is you. There's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of tools out there. Look at it, read, watch videos like this one. And if you know someone that has a dog, maybe offer to dog sit for a night. See what the responsibility is like, see what you like and don't like. Maybe you have a huge dog that you're with and you really like having a dog, but you want a small one, or vice versa. So there's so many different ways to experience out there, and I'm confident that if you put the time and energy into it, you'll figure out if it's the right decision.